this is one way. This is the site Flickr, LibraryThing for photos. It's always expressed the other way, but I'll take the upper hand. They're trying to algorithmically determine what makes sense together. And they've identified that there's kind of like a Christmassy group of photos. There's photos that are based upon archery. This is the tag bow, by the way. So Christmassy bows, archery bows, these are violins and so forth. Up here we have cute girls with bows in their head, in their hair, and a bow of a boat, right? So this is hard. Flickr has orders of magnitude more data, and it's still hard. On LibraryThing, you can combine two tags together. Magic and young adult washes away a lot of the books that don't apply. Right? Ancient magic gets academic books. Here's a classic strength of LCSH: France, history, German occupation, blah, blah, blah. Right? You get these hierarchy in traditional classification that is hard but not impossible to replicate in tags. Here's France in World War II. Right? Very, very few people will tag a book France in World War II. But people will tag it one or the other, or maybe both. And here you get, Suite Française, 5/4 of an orange. If I go France, World War II minus fiction, I get, academic books about life and politics in Vichy France. Now, you don't need to know beforehand what categories make sense. So the chick-lit subject in LCSH is not geographically subdivided, right? But right here we have books that are chick-lit that occur in Greece. Here we have romances that involve zombies. All right. Now the problem with tagging, you might imagine, is uncontrolled user data leads to problems, right? So the fear is that someone's going to tag the Diary of Anne Frank anti-Semitically. Well, no one ever actually has, right? Got about 10,000 tags on this book. But if you look here at the full tag cloud, wow, is it enormous, right? Now, the stuff that shows up big tends to be pretty good, right? Coming of age, concentration camps, European history, right? Germany, hiding, Holocaust, right? Now, somewhere in there, someone has said that the Diary of Anne Frank is history-ish, right? But that doesn't matter, right? The ignorance of that person doesn't matter. Someone said that it was in Belgium, right? But that doesn't matter. I actually asked this person whether or not they were confused about geography or whether they physically had the copy in Belgium, and they physically have it in Belgium. But all of that washes out, right? When you have large quantities of data, and you must have large quantities of data, then for tags, then the stuff that surfaces, the stuff that you get on top is pretty reliable. When you have 2-3 tags, you really don't have anything. Here's Godless, The Church of Liberalism by Ann Coulter. Amazon is now allowing tagging. And so I'll just read a few of these. Hateful lies, propaganda, the truth, brilliant horse crap, hateful divisive political rhetoric, truth, conservatism, liar, the truth about liberals. I identify one subject heading, conservatism, in that bunch. People go to great effort to attack this book or to praise it. Liberals can't and won't deny this, right? Well, this happens because on Amazon, you don't need to actually own the book or have bought the book in order to tag it. Where LibraryThing differs is that in order to tag a book, you have to have it in your library. So if your desire is to insult this book, you're going to have to add it to your library, and then your friends are going to see it, and they're going to wonder why it's there, right? So the stuff that actually surfaces is descriptive rather than these sort of drive-by reviews, which is what you get on Amazon, these kind of drive-by reviews. Okay, I want to show you briefly. I'm conscious. I can't stand selling LibraryThing products, but I'll just show you briefly. LibraryThing offers a product that goes inside of OPACs. Here's the Danbury Public Library. Everything from here on down is coming from LibraryThing. So other editions and translations of Bridget Jones's Diary, similar books, which are recommended books, tags. I can hop between books in the Danbury Public Library using these methods. It only shows you books that are in the Danbury Public Library. These are only chick-lit that are in Danbury. And And it provides this, this way of accessing your collection through tags. We've got about 55 libraries currently using this, ranging from the super big, the Seattle Public Library, to really small ones too. Notably, we actually do edit the tags to some extent. We approve tags before they show up here. It's not really bad tags because there aren't any, but it's tags like read or unread or at the beach house, right? There's no point in having those show up in a library catalog, obviously. Okay. So, tagging is a big deal for LIS. I think LibraryThing, there's all these articles out there. You could read 24 articles from LIS journals about what tagging could mean. LibraryThing, actually is showing what it does mean, and someone should write an article about it. Tagging is not going to put you all out of a job. Only some of you will be. No. Okay. So, David Weinberger makes this point, which I think is very interesting from a library science perspective, which is that digitization shows the physical basis of things that we thought were not physical. Now, think about it from the perspective of the catalog. Books have 3 to 6 subjects, LCSH subjects. Why? Because that's how many fit on a card, right? Subjects are equally valid. You don't have any ranking of subjects, things that are particularly chick-lit or not. Why is that? Because how would you do that, right? I mean, the words are bigger, you sort things by relevance. It would be impossible, right? Subjects never change, right? You've printed the cards. You're not going to change them, right? Only librarians get to add subjects. Well, just imagine if you could go into the BPL and you just pull out the cards, and then you take a few here and you move them over here and you scribble things on them, right? I don't think it's about that, right? That would be chaos, right? In a digital world, that's fine. Scribbling doesn't hurt anything, right? The other consequence is that someone has to win, right? So whether or not Sikhism is part of Islam or not, a great objection to Dewey, has to be decided. There's an answer, right? In something like tagging, there doesn't have to be an answer. Now, of course, right, you can't actually go into the BPL anymore and get out cards because they've all been taken away and it's all been digitized, but the intellectual basis is still there, right? You're still saying we're not going to add subjects to old books. Okay. So, not an argument for killing LCSH. All data is good. LCSH is awfully cheap compared to other stuff. Subjects are actually best for some things. I didn't show this example, but the one I can't solve is Ireland. I gave a talk in Ireland, and I showed them the Ireland tag, and it was, what's his name? Frank McCourt, right? And they were like, oh, God, this is representing us, right? They all hate Frank McCourt. Right? But because Americans are so dominant, they get to decide what Ireland is, right? And that has obvious dangers. I think it's a radio television thing that tags and subject headings and the real beast in the room, full text searching, are all going to coexist. But you can learn things. Why not change your subjects post hoc? Why not consider adding relevancy so that you can give someone a list of 2,000 books and not have it sorted by accession date or something, right? Distributed production, if you think these things are too expensive, why not distribute their production? There are LibraryThing members, many of them librarians, who spend their evenings inputting the books of Thomas Jefferson and putting the Star Wars novels in order and a million other things. Wikipedia and the like have shown that if there's passion around something, people are interested in doing it. And lastly, it's very weird, but the Library of Congress, even though it's a department of the federal government and therefore cannot copyright its productions, doesn't make LCSH available except in printed form or through a paid service. This guy, Simon Sparrow, crawled the Library of Congress website and came up with a complete list that he's released, and that's great. Okay, so here's my quick Dewey tangent.